Hello, everybody. Good morning to you. It's 10 o'clock on Monday, late Monday, I guess you could call it. It is time for episode 17 of Boy, Do I Have a Story for You. But I said I had a Steelers story, but I'm going to back that up to Wednesday, if y'all don't mind, because I was talking to a buddy of mine last night. I said to him, I'm going to change it up. Instead of telling the Steelers story, which we'll wait till Wednesday to tell that, we're going to talk about the first time I, Dusty Costa, went on a date. This is going to be very detailed. This is pre-Susan, pre-pacemaker. Like I told you, some of these stories are going to be pre-pacemaker and possibly pre-Susan. So here's a pre-Susan story, and this is the only other pre-Susan story there is, other than those three girls from the dating game episodes. I was 22 years old. I was going to CCAC in Pittsburgh, in West Mifflin, PA, right around where I live. I lived in Baldwin. Went to CCAC South Campus in West Mifflin. I went to school there from 2006 to 2005. 05 to 10. I got in there, I majored in theater. I mentioned that in the previous video. But I was on the chick prowl. You know, I was a young guy back then. I was a chick prowl. I wanted to meet a chick. Met all these different women in my classes. Really didn't pay attention, so it was a waste of time for all those years. But I wanted to meet a woman, right? Wanted to meet a woman. That was my goal outside of my education. My education was secondary. Meeting a woman was first on the list. And a couple of years wouldn't go by. I asked a couple girls out. They said, One girl I asked out that was in my class, she she had a boyfriend, so I got the heck with that. I was like 06. 07 rolls around. 2007. This is a story that nobody's ever heard. This is a detailed story, except the person's name for obvious reasons. But I don't want to discuss that either. Anyways, so I'm going back to school, right? I had just come off of foot surgery. I just got my foot done, so I'm getting out of that. I'm recouping from that. I finally get the cast off my leg that ran all the way up to my dang kneecap. And I'm like, man, I'm going to meet somebody. I had no goal in life. I had no goal in mind that year to say I want to meet somebody. So I get to school, and I think it was because I had class on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I get to school, and I'm sitting there in this hallway. And there's these classrooms, right? And all these people are there. And there's this girl there. I'm not going to mention her name. There's this girl there, and we start talking. I said, hey, how you doing? I think it was Wednesday. It was the second day. My name is so-and-so. Her name is blank. We'll just say blank for argument's sake. She told me her name. And I was like, hey, how are you doing? I said, it's a major in bomber ISIS. You know, I would love, we had just gotten an assignment where we had to write a paragraph on another classmate, but the teacher made us do it in alphabetical order. So I famously got the girl sitting next to me. Her name, I believe, was Stephanie. That's her real name. Her name was Stephanie. I don't know what her last name is, but it began with a C. So my last name began with a C, so they partnered us up. And then the rest of them got partnered up in alphabetical order. And I'm like, oh, this stinks because I wanted to pick my own partner. I would have picked you. And I didn't even know the girl's name, but she did tell me her name. And we were talking. So I let it go. This is Wednesday. So Friday, I kind of went in there with the mindset of, okay, so I'm sitting in this hallway by myself. I got my iPod on. I got my earbuds in, listening to my music. I have a backpack and everything. Listen to my jams. The girl, that shall remain nameless, comes into that said hallway where the classrooms are at. She looks at me, takes one look at me, kind of real weird. And she goes, can I sit here? And I said, sure. So I politely turned my iPod off, took my earbuds out, wrapped the earbuds around the iPod, put the iPod back in the backpack, and we start talking. And I'm like, you're so-and-so. She's like, yeah, you're Dusty. I'm like, my name's Dusty. She's like, I know who you are. We talked the other day. We start talking. Just a casual conversation. We start talking. And so we talk that day. Okay, so the following week comes. I'm thinking to myself over the weekend, I'm like, you know what, I think I'm going to ask this girl out. We've been talking for a little while. We had talked for a few weeks. Like, I'm asking her out. I'm like, what's the worst she can say? No, I have a boyfriend. So, we proceed to meet up again the following couple weeks later. We meet up on Monday. We had been talking, like I said. And we start talking. And I'm like, I have to ask you something. Do you have a boyfriend? And she's like, no. I'm like, well, that's good. I was like, would you like to go out? She's like, oh, you asking me out on a date? I said, I don't recall it as that, but if you want to call it that, then that's what it is. I call it a friendly outing. I said, because we've been talking for a few weeks at school. I said, you know, this gives us a chance to get to know each other a little bit more outside of the confines of the educational system. So she says, sure, I'll go out with you. I'm like, all psyched, you know, thinking, yeah. Now I'm thinking, oh, crap. Like, I think it was a Monday, I asked her out. I'm like, I got to tell her something. Or no, she's like, I asked her, I believe it was like on a Wednesday. She's like, I can't do nothing this Friday. She's like, I'd like to go out with you on a Friday. She said, but I'm busy. I said, sure, okay. I said, I'm busy too anyways. I got season Steeler tickets. I said, I'm not going to be home either. I'm kind of busy too. Okay, how about next Friday? Okay. All the while not using my melon here. Thinking, oh crap. Now I didn't tell this woman I didn't drive. So I'm like, well, that's going to just blow this out of the water. So we proceed to meet up the following week. How's your weekend? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you know what? So-and-so, I have to tell you something. She was like, what? And I'm like, I can't drive. I told her this on either Monday or Wednesday. I'm not sure what it was. She goes, oh. She goes, that's no problem. She goes, I'll come pick you up. I'm like, at my house. She goes, yeah. She didn't live that far from me. She lived maybe 10 minutes from me. She wasn't far, you know. She said, I'll come pick you up at your house. We had a couple things in common. She lost her parents when she was real young. And she had just, as a matter of fact, she just lost her mom. So, and I'd lost my dad like 3-4 years, 3.5 years prior to that. And, or what was it, like 2.5. And I'm like, okay, so you're going to come pick me up? Yeah. Okay, she gave me your address. Gave her my address, didn't really think about it. Wasn't really thought of. And I'm thinking to myself, oh crap. So I give her my address. Now we're going to meet up Friday. I got up that morning, guys. I was psyched. Excuse me, guys. I have no idea who that is. We're not going to answer that. So anyway, I was so psyched for that day. I was so excited, so jacked up. And I get up, work out, I take a shower. I'm like locked in. I get to school. She's there. I'm there. She's like, "Are you ready for tonight?" Yeah. Hell, I'm ready as willing and able. And so we leave. I go grab lunch. I go home. So now I'm home at probably 11. Well, I got all day to sit here and sulk on this. I was like, you know, man, I don't even do any of my studying. I don't do anything. I'm like, what do you do? You know, how do you prepare? Do you have a few drinks? Do you smoke a little weed, which I didn't have? I'm thinking, damn, what do I do here? You know? And she's like, my mom comes home from work. Sitting in the kitchen. I got on a nice shirt, a pair of khaki shorts. That's what I went to school in. And my mom looked at me. She goes, "Why are you all dressed up?" I'm like, "I'm going out." She goes, "You going out with your friend E?" And I said, "No." I didn't say no, but my mom looked at me. She says, "You're going out on a date, aren't you?" I said, "Well, how the hell did you know?" Because I could tell you, I could see right through you. Because I'm not a good liar. So anyways, I proceeded, "Oh yeah, I'm going out with a girl from school. I didn't tell you about it, blah, 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 blah." I said, "We've been talking for about 3 weeks up until then or so." And I said, "I didn't tell you about it because I didn't want you to know and freak out and go lose your crap." So anyways, so like she's going to be here at whatever, 5:30. Let's just say the time was. So lo and behold, our family friend from Florida was in town. Sherry. Okay. So she's at the house. My mom's at the house. My mom's boyfriend at the time was at the house. And all these combustible elements. The girl calls. The girl got lost. So I give my mom the phone to give her directions. Like, this is going to be bad. This is going to be a nightmare. So then she shows up. I run outside. I run her Jeep. I run outside. I get in the Jeep. My mom's introducing herself. "Hey, I'm Dusty's mother," blah, 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 all this stupid shit. So she's telling her all this. And the lady, my mom, the family friend, took a picture of me and her sitting in her car. Okay, so, lo and behold. So we leave. And I said, "I'm so sorry." I said, "That was embarrassing." I said, "I'm going to probably get a copy of that picture in about a week." And said, "I will have a copy of that." And I didn't even tell her I was going to give it to her. Sorry, guys, I'm a little itchy here. And I didn't even tell her I was going to give it to her, but that's down the road. But anyways, so we go to Applebee's to get dinner. We get there, everything's fine. Everything is awesome. We're eating, we're talking, she's telling me about her family. I'm telling her about, my family. And the vibe is good. There's a good flow to that. It started out a little rough, but once the flow got going, we started, opening up. And then all of a sudden, we got done eating dinner. I paid for the bill, being a gentleman. I'm like, "Hey, there's a bench outside. I don't really want to leave. Do you want to just, because it was a nice night, do you want to go out and we can just continue to talk outside?" "Yeah, sure." We went out, and it was still daylight out. So we sit down, and we're just talking. We're having a nice, wonderful conversation. It's great. 2 people talking. Imagine that before technology. 2 people having a conversation. You normally don't see that. So we're talking, and we're having a good time. And she's like, "It was getting kind of late. Do you want to go back to your house?" Okay. So we go back to my house. We get out. I said, "Why don't you come in?" Bad mistake. I should have just got out of the Jeep and just whisked her away and went home. She would have went home. No. My dumb ass has to invite her in. Remember, when I invited Susan in. Been in a relationship for 15 years. It worked out, didn't it? Back then, it didn't work out the way I thought it might. Which I didn't think we were going to have a 45-minute makeout session, by no means. But I invite her in, I show her the house, blah, blah, blah. We're standing in the kitchen talking, blah, blah, blah. She goes, "You mind if I go home?" It was kind of late, 10:30, 11 o'clock. I said, "Sure, I'll see you at school on Monday." I should have went outside with her. Should have walked her to her car and been a nice guy and walked her to her car. I was a schmuck. Well, no, I didn't walk her to her car. I made her walk outside by herself. I didn't pay attention. I go to sit down on the landing, taking my sandals off. All of a sudden, I hear a big bang. I'm like, what in the F was that? I have my shoes on. Now, mind you, it's 11 to 11:15 at night. I run outside. She pulls her car back, and she's backing out when this happened. She pulls her car back in, she's frantic. She's frantic. Her taillight's busted out, and she hits my neighbor's truck across the street. Now, mind you, it's 11:30 at night. 11:15, 11:30. She goes, do you know those people over there? I'm like, yeah, I know them. She goes, do you drink with them? No, I don't drink with them. If you would have hit their vehicle over there, those people that live right across, no, not, on the other side of the driveway here, I hang out with them and drink with them. But I don't drink with these people over here. Matter of fact, I know who they are. They're very nice people, but I don't associate with them. She's frantic. Again, it's dark out. I'm like, nameless. The person should remain nameless. I said, are you okay? And she goes, yeah, I'm fine. She gives me her phone number. Meanwhile, I already had it. She already called me earlier in the day. I already had it. So I says, do me a solid when you get home. I don't give two craps what time of day it is. Text me when you get home. Make sure you get home okay. All right, fine. So she texts me or whatever. I go to bed. Now, my schmuck ass had his cell phone off. I'm sleeping. I don't want to be bothered. So I get up the next day, turn my cell phone on. She called me. I don't really pay attention. So I'm like, oh crap, I've got to call the neighbor and tell them that this woman that I went out with last night just hit their son's truck. So I'm like, let me go outside here and see what the damage is. Okay, so I walk outside on, Saturday morning. I'm walking outside. And I'm like, I get to the end of my walkway. I get to the end there. I'm like, holy shit. Look at the truck. The whole driver's side door smashed in. I'm like, oh, jeez. So, I'll go back in. What the hell do you do? You gotta call your neighbor. What do you do in this case? Okay, then I gotta call her and get her insurance information. So I called the neighbor. I called my neighbor. And I'm like, hey, it's Dusty from next door. I said, I just went out with a girl last night. She hit your son's truck. And the reason, this isn't the first time that somebody's hit their vehicles. At the time, the driveway wasn't wide enough to hold all their vehicles. Right? So, she's like, oh, her. I'm like, she's like, so-and-so. Oh, she already came over this morning and gave us her insurance information. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, so I'm off the hook. She says, don't worry, accidents happen. And I'm thinking to myself, accidents happen? Your vehicles have been sitting out front of your house because your driveway is not long enough, wide enough to hold all your damn vehicles. Okay? I mean, my God, they have at the time, they had two other cars in his truck. Really? Come on. So, she's like, yeah. She already gave us her insurance information. I'm like, okay, so I'm off the hook here. So I hang up the phone. I called that girl back up. And I said, yeah, I heard about what you did. She says, yeah, I tried calling you, but your phone was off. I'm like, okay. I'm like, yeah, I heard you. I said, thank you. I said, are you okay? Fine. So I said, well, if I know you're okay, and you're still breathing, and you still got oxygen running through your lungs, I said, I'll see you Monday. Okay. That was the end of it. And then obviously we would go out more and different things, but I'd rather not get into that. They're not bad up until the end, but I don't want to get into that either. But that was I will say this. That was the woman that I told you guys about a few weeks ago. I'm doing my announcement. That ripped me to shreds, ripped my heart out. And I ended up having intimacy with and all that. But yeah, that was the first time we actually went out. And note to self. If you're going out with a woman for the first time and you invite her back to your house, make sure when she goes to leave your house, make sure you walk her out and make sure she pulls out okay, just to make sure she's all right. My schmug ass let her walk outside by herself, get in her Jeep, pull out, hit my hip. Don't do that. for those that are single and looking for a mate, and you say you live by yourself or whatever, you invite a woman over, either she's staying the night there, or you're going to walk her to her car. Might be a good idea. All right? Note to see. All right. And then, like I said, Wednesday's episode will be a Steeler episode, because we are on the precipice of the regular season here. The last preseason game is Thursday when they play the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. So I got a Steeler story to tell. I don't know which one to tell. I'm kind of mixed in between the two of them. And like I said, guys, if anybody, like I said in the video last week, if anybody has any suggestions of where I can give my testimony, I would love to do it. Those are just scrolling by and watching these videos. Thank you for watching them. I appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. And hit that note. I keep forgetting also to mention to hit that notification bell whenever you see my video, when you get notified when I post a new video. So I would love to have more subscribers, but I'm not looking to make gazillions here. Just looking to spread my stories around, and hopefully I can publicly go out and give my testimony in different places. So that'd be awesome. But like I said, guys, two things. Well, obviously, again, I want to reiterate. Please, if you go out with a woman and you invite her back to your house, please walk her out so she gets out. Say if you have a driveway or whatever, she gets out of that driveway safely. I mean, I knew the truck was there, but I thought, she would look behind her before she backs out. But hey, things happen. Again, guys, thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. And like I said, if you guys know of anywhere I can get my testimony at, tell my transformation, because I feel great. I feel awesome. I feel renewed. Please let me know. Catch me on social media. Comment here. I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. But if you guys have any ideas, contact me and let me know where I can give the testimony at. And most importantly, believe. No limits. Ignore the noise and prove people wrong. God bless you all.